Welcome to class. Welcome to CMGT 2640. This is the 5-Plex Foundation Detailed Takeoff assignment. And the first thing you're going to need to do is download the 5-Plex Footing and Foundation Plan. And that is here. Prior to doing much takeoff work, I want to take you through the plan itself and make sure that you can read it, or at least review it with you, so you have, for those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with footing and foundation plans, you can be more familiar with it. So we'll go to that point and then we'll start the takeoff. I've got a few files open right now. In fact, you can see the files that I have open at the top up here. So I've got 4 different files. And I'm going to review for a second, just Bluebeam, and go backwards a couple steps, and then we'll go forward because we've already done a little bit of this in class. So I've got the different files up here. They come in as different tabs. And I can see how many pages there are. So this is only one page. This is what the file will actually look like when you're done, or something like that. So this is the file that we're going to start with. I've got the full structural set open right here. Now I've got 15 pages, and I've got the full architectural set open right here, which will help me explain what you're looking at. The other thing to maybe check if your screen doesn't look like mine is to come up into the top, look at what profile you're in. I'm using Review Advanced. Quantity Takeoff or Review Advanced would probably be the two that I would recommend. Just a reminder, there's different panels. The left and right panel, if you hover your mouse over it, you can get a little symbol that looks like that. Click once and it'll open it up. And then there's various tools right here. So we've got the files that I've accessed recently, the thumbnail view of this drawing. Here's a bookmarks that'll tell me what the pages I can just jump to them. It looks like some of them are broken, maybe not. No, they're working. Okay, and so we'll get into more of these later. I'm just trying to review here for a little bit. So just remember, you can adjust the sizes of this panel if you need it to be bigger or smaller. You get to this right here, click and hold down with your left mouse button, and then you can drag and change the size, right? Same thing with the right panel. Hover over you get the blue line, and the click once and it'll open it up. You can adjust this. Sometimes I see people like drag this over to like right there. And then when they click on it, it's only moving like a little bit, and you can't even tell that it's been opened. So just remember, sometimes you drag it over instead of clicked on it and made it open. And then there's the bottom panel. We've reviewed a little bit of what that does, but we'll get into this bottom panel quite a bit. So the first thing, we're going to be doing a takeoff of this plan right here. And so let's try and better understand what we're looking at. And so this is a plan view. I'm going to split my screen. And down here at the bottom, if you remember from your videos at Bluebeam, I'm in the one full page. So my mouse, as I scroll, it zooms in and out. If I switch it to this one right here, it's more scrolling pages, but I don't want to do that right now. I like the one that's the one full page right here. And I've split my screen using that split vertical. So on my right hand side, I'm going to have our takeoff sheet that I want to try and better understand. And then, so let's go through that real quick. So let's try and better understand what it is that we're viewing. I'm going to create myself some viewing space, make this a little bigger. All right, first thing, we got S1.1, S1.1. We're looking at the same sheet, but I'm going to try and get to this sheet so we can see what it is that we're actually looking at. So as we zoom in here, we've got this dashed line right here that goes around. And so what we're looking at in the dashed line is more of like this detail right here with a footing and a little wall. Okay, so we've got the FC 220, so footing continuous 20, and I'll show you here in a second what that is. And then we've got this dashed line, right? So this dashed line is this part, the footing down here. And then they've got the solid line, and maybe I'll draw on that for a second, try and make sure that we can get there. This solid line right there, the one I just traced over, that is representing this wall right here. All right. So that is this wall going all the way around. All right, so one question, if we're looking at foundation wall, what is this little wall right here? Is that a wall? Like this little piece right here and this little piece right here? Sometimes it's not super easy to tell because there's a footing underneath it. And so the footing goes like this and then this way and then this way and then down here. But this piece right here is not on the footing. So where is it? It's a wall, like a framed wall. And they don't have a good example of it in the details. So this wall is not connected to anything structurally. It's just a wall. So we've got a foundation wall underneath this, right? So we've got foundation wall, and then it comes all the way here. And then we were kind of questioning, like, what is this? That's this little wall right here. I'm going to go back to the structural drawings for a second. And so they're going to give you a list of what the FC20 is. So we'll go to the footing. So our footing schedule, FC20, so footing continuous is what FC stands for. 20 is 1'8". So the 20 is literally the width. And so we've got a depth of 1 foot or 12 inches, but this FS78 is a footing spot. So we go to this. Oh, maybe they've got the FS's in it. Yeah, they've got the FS's in the same one. So FS78 right here, it's saying it's 6'6" by 6'6". Its depth is 1'6", and then it gives you the reinforcing requirements right here. I'm hoping you can see that, so I'm gonna trace that out so you can see it a little better. That right there is the FS78, and the note for FS78 is that right there. Now that we've got the footing defined and the schedule for that, let's look at the foundation wall and the foundation wall schedule, or the list. So we've got two different sizes. We've got an 8-inch thick wall and a 12-inch thick wall. It looks like the reinforcing's mostly the same. There are two different concrete foundation wall types. There's a type A and there's a type C. The type A is 8 inches wide, and it goes around the perimeter. And there's a 12-inch wide concrete wall, and that goes underneath the party walls. The party walls separate the units. Yeah, on the architectural version of it, it's a little easier to see. So there's a double wall. There's a back-to-back wall here, back-to-back stud wall on top of this foundation wall right here. And you can see where it starts from. It starts from that point, and it goes all the way to this point, because out here is literally a deck. Let's go see if we can find a cut section for it. On the left, we've got the cut section, and we are cutting right through the building right here. And you can see from the right to the left for the cut section, you can see footing, 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 footing. So there's 4 footings, and I'm going to show them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's also saying there's a footing out here, but it's not showing another one out here. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And they're at different elevations. So let's go see if we can find a cut section in the other direction. Now we can see the party wall, concrete foundation wall. Now let's look at what these HDU symbols are. So there's HDU 8, HDU 14. Over here I'm seeing another HDU 8. So what we are looking at here is hold down unit. And this is what they look like. There's a rod that goes into the concrete. Usually it's cast in, or it's either drilled and epoxied or to tighten, anchor bolt. And then we're trying to connect the foundation to the vertical studs. And just as the concrete wall and the footing, there is a hold down schedule or list, and you can see how they correlate there. So we have the HDU 8, which is connected to two studs. It's a 7/8 diameter uh, bolt with a double nut and a washer. So they're talking about this double nut washer thing that's down in the concrete. It's not super important for what we're trying to do. I'm just trying to describe it. They've also got this thing called an SSW, and they have a cut section for the Simpson strong wall detail. So SSW 21x7 with two 1-inch anchor bolts. And so that's the detail over here, and that's the name of it, Simpson strong wall. Have a picture of it for you here. There's a couple different manufacturers of it, but here's a Simpson's version of it. And you can see that it's just a shear wall, just adding some additional strength to resist wind loads or seismic events, that kind of stuff. Another one to look at is, what does this HSS mean? I'm going to navigate into the plans to show you. And it's a steel column. So HSS is referring to a steel column that's square, and or it could be rectangular in shape. In this case, they're 4x4, so they're square and they're 1/4 inch thick walls. And you can see where the arrows are pointing at them. Now to finish off the review, let's look at this cut section here. That one's the cut section for the Simpson strong wall. So detail 10. Let me find it. Oh, there we go. So there's detail 10, and that's the Simpson strong wall, and you can see it located in two locations. We've got this detail cut section 6, and it's going through the footing that separates the garage from the house. And so that footing itself right there, that one is not it doesn't have a foundation wall on it. It's just a footing that's poured with the floor slab itself. I hope that review helped, and let's go jump into the rest of the assignment. The first thing that the assignment asks you to do is make sure you've downloaded this file. So if you've downloaded the file and use Bluebeam to save it, right? So if you downloaded it somewhere on your on a shared drive, however you want to save that, somewhere where you can access it every single time in class. And then what one of the first things it's asking you to do is to set the scale. So set the scale for the page. The page size is 24x36. Let me show you how I figured that out. So we're going to use the Takeoff over here. I'm going to go back to full screen. Oh, okay. So it actually tells you down here that if the page was printed at 24x36, the scale is 3/16 equals a foot. If the page was printed at 11x17 paper, the scale would be 3/32 a foot. So we want to set the scale and figure out what this is. So what I have on right now, let me zoom out all the way. Do you see my, up here I've got this setting turned on that kind of shows like the scale, I guess. Let me see what that's actually called. That's called the rulers. So it's under the view tool and rulers. Now it's off. And I'll turn the view. So I've got that on. So it's saying that here's 0, 0, and the page is 36 wide, 24 deep. And so that's what this is. So the scale is 3/16 equals a foot. Where do I set the scale? So I have my measurements tool over in the right-hand panel over here. And all I did was click on that. It's another way to open up the panels, is to click on one of these tools and it'll go away, go back, right? So there's another way to do it. So I already set the scale, but I'm going to set preset and then choose 3/16 equals a foot. And that's now set. So when I measure something, say let's do a measurement. I'm going to use this length tool right here. And I want to see what it is from there to there. And it says it's 1'8". Now, it's a FC20. So the FC20, oh, it's over here, sorry, is 1'8". So it appears to be working. Another way to try and like figure out if the scales work is to measure something that's got dimensions to it. But I'm not seeing anything that has dimensions on this page. And the other thing that's often important is, do you say we're up here? It says do not scale the plans, architectural plans for wall locations. So they're kind of saying like don't do a takeoff on this because this isn't. They want you to go off. They don't. They want you to use the architect for dimensions. But I think we want to use this for the takeoff because it seems like it's working. So let's just check. This is an FS78. FS78 is 6'6". And I'm holding down shift so I can get that to go straight up and down, 6'6". It looks like it's drawn correctly on most of these. And so I'll periodically check to make sure that it's done correctly. So the first thing I did was set the scale, right? So set the scale is right here. If you're using the tools up here, which I don't recommend doing, in fact, here's the measure tool. You could do it from here, and you could, I think it's might be calibrate maybe. No, I don't ever use the tools from up here on measure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. So that's why I'm using it from this panel over here. I think this panel is better. Now, if you don't set the scale right, the rest of this doesn't work because you have to have, you're measuring something. You're measuring, trying to get a quantity takeoff. And so if you don't set the scale right, your quantities are all going to be wrong. So the next part is perform a detailed takeoff for the following elements and unit of measure. Organize your takeoffs by changing the subject or label, and I'll show you how to do that. And then these are the elements we're looking for. Spot footings, continuous footings, foundation walls, hold downs, and steel columns. So let's go work on spot footings right now for a second. This is easy. We'll make the first thing the spot footings. Okay, so I've got a spot footing right here and it's FS78. Now, what I need to do is choose the area tool and then go to the corner, and you can trace around it. I'll show you a couple different ways to do it. When you get to the end, double click, there you go. All right, so what is that though right there? I've got it currently set at green, and green's fiber cement right now, so that's not the right subject. So in the instructions, it literally says subject or label is what you need to change. So we need to make sure that this one right here is an FS20. So I'm going to say, or FS78, excuse me. And I've already got one, so I'm just going to choose it. And I'm going to choose the label of footings. You don't have to. You could do this opposite. You could say like, seeing people just switch the subject into concrete and use the label as the specific. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me what you do. So the FS78 has a depth to it. What is the depth to an FS78? FS78 depth is 1'6". So 1'-6 inches, and you have to type that in. And over here, it's telling you what your unit of measure is. So you could leave it in inches and just type 18, but I'm going to leave it just like that. All right. And so the volume is going to be cubic yards. I've already set it for that for some reason. It could have been any of these things right here, but we're going to say leave the volume is cubic yards. So we've got an FS78 footing at 1'6", and that's this one. Okay, so what's the next one? My next one is an FS78 right here. Same thing. Now this guy right here, see how it's switched? I don't want to constantly change that. So one of the tricks that you need to learn is to go click back on the one you just changed, right click on it, and say set as default. So now I'm going to go choose this and see how it automatically brought in my, oh, it didn't bring in my depth though. Let's see if it'll fix that. You can also just type in 18 inches. I was just kind of being, and then cubic yards. Okay. So FS78 footings. You can click and hold down and do that as well. So left click, hold down. So that's my FS78s. Do I have any more FS78s? I do. There's some right here. And 84. I'm just going to go cruise around looking for FS78 so I can stay in this tool. There's one right there. You might be saying, well, you just overlapped with the FS54. Well, I know that. And so typically the bigger ones govern. And so I'm going to take my FS54 is going to be a little bit smaller. But the FS78 is the bigger one, deeper. And usually those govern. So that's what we're going to do there. There's an FS78 right here. Do I see any more? 72, 72, 66. Okay, I don't see any more. Now, one of the things that I've done, and we've already talked about, is I've made these a unique color. So I'm going to choose green for my footings, and I'm going to choose probably like orange or something like that for my foundation walls. But I'm going to keep switching them slightly different colors every single time. So we've got all these FS78s. And we're going to switch to here. So we've got a color and a fill color, and then I've got the fill opacity down to like 30% so you can still see it. So I'm going to switch this one so you can see what happens if I don't have the fill. Well, I don't like it when it does that. I want to be able to see through it. Do you see how like you change the fill opacity to 100%? I don't care for that. I want it to be somewhere I can kind of see through it. And then it says footings and the square footage. So in the caption, that's what it's doing. I can say I want to edit my caption. And do I want labels? No, not really. But I could. That's fine. I could say, okay, I want my, yeah, that might be a good argument for having the label be the right one. So the FS78. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave the label on. I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to show you how to edit these real quick. So I'm going to come select them all. And I'm going to switch my tool to this thing. And I'm going to click and drag over them all. And I'm going to make that the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to say, I want my label to be FS78. And I'm going to change my subject to footings. All right, now let's see how that came in. So now it's labeled FS78 because it's using the label, and I kind of like that. I don't know, not that it matters a ton, but I'm going to keep following that. So again, you click on something, you change the modifications here. I could change the font size, make it bigger. So I could say, okay, well, I can't see that FS78, so I'm going to make it bigger. But the reality is it's not very helpful to have that there, so I'm not worried about it. We're going to leave it small. Was there any FS78s that I missed again? Nope. All right, so now I want to go make another one of these. So we're going to go do this. I'm going to go to area, and it's going to be, I'm going to start left to right again. And we'll do these 84s. Remember, that didn't switch, so I'm going to call that footings. And I'm going to do that on the label. FS84. And the depth on the 84, 1'6". Okay, I typed in 18 inches, but it switched it to that. All right, so let's go do the 84. Okay, now it's the same color, but I don't want the same color. So I've made one, but I don't like that it's the same color as the FS78. I like it when they're just slightly different colors. So I usually just go up or down. I'm on this green one. I'm going to go up that color. Okay, good enough. So now I select that. I want to use that the rest of the time. Whoops. I'm going to right click on it, set as my default. And now I'm going to go back and do some more of the 84s. Let's see if there are any more. There's an 84. Is there any more 84s? Nope. So that was just 2 of them. All right, time to move on to the next one. We're going to do, let's see, we'll just do this FC60. Change it to that. It's already at 1'6". Let's check that. FS60. Nope, that's a 12-inch or 1 foot deep. FS60, 1 foot depth. And you might say, like, how do I know where the FS60 is? I don't. So I'm sort of like just guessing where it is. And it's only 1 foot deep, and it's going to be the same depth as the FS20. So as long as I pick that up somewhere, it'll be okay. So sometimes there's some logic to be doing a takeoff. All right, let's do the FS. Oh, yeah, wait. I don't like that. I don't like that it's the same color. So I'm going to choose this one, hold down the shift key, hit that one, switch it back, go up 1 color. There we go. I should have done that before, but that's all right. So that's there's those two. So I'm going to do the FS54s now. Let me jump in here for a second. For the next 10 minutes or so of this video, I'm just going to repeat what I just did. But you'll see me make some mistakes because it's actually a little bit of a challenge for me to record what I'm doing and talk about it at the same time. So you'll see some of my mistakes, which might help you a little bit. But if you kind of got it, what I was working on and how the square footage tool works, then you might want to put this next part on high speed for the next 10 minutes or so. When I start doing foundation footings or continuous footings, then you might want to jump back in and see what I'm doing, because I'll show something different. And then when I work on walls, I'll be showing you a different tool. And then when I work on things like HDUs, I'll be showing you something different there too. So back to the video. FS54. Guess what? I already know it's 12 inches. Whoop, picked up 12 feet. That was wrong. Cubic yards, everything's good there. And all right, so that one's there, and I want to switch the color. Didn't do enough. I want to go up 1 more. There we go. Okay, so FS54. Right click, set as default. Now I'm going to do all the FS54s. Whoops. Huh, it didn't pick up my depth for some reason. I probably need to check that. Says default again. Whoops. Huh. Wonder why it's not doing that. Better check them all. All right, FS54s, where are you? All right, so here's an FS54. It's okay to have a little bit of overlap. I'm all right with that. FS54, those go to 48. Just clicking, holding down, dragging over the top of it. Okay. Where did it end? Where did it start to go 12? So the 66, anything 66 and above is an 18-inch. All right, I'm just going to modify this one real quick. I'm going to get both of these. I know I'm on the wrong tool, but I don't want to do it. So I'm going to select them both. I know they're not 54s, they're 48s. And that'll work. So it should be switched them both. I'm gonna go over another green. Okay, now I'm on that green. All right. So we've got the 72 66s. All right, let's go do some more. So 72 is 18 inches. So anything bigger than a 66. Yeah, it's probably all the way over to here. It didn't pick it up. It says it's a 54. Maybe I forgot to switch it. Did it pick it up now? Yeah. All right, show you another trick. So we know this exists. You can right click on it, copy, paste, kind of like move it into place. And those are all the 72s. Now they're the same color, so I'm going to hold down Shift, select them all. Change the fill color. I was on that one last, so I'm on this one now. No, I'm not, because that one's that color. There we go. All right, I think I've only got one more spot footing, yeah, I've got the 66 left, and I think I'm done with spot footings. So we'll go switch it to the 66. Depth is good. Whoops. now I've got it. Oh, well, it decided to let me do the trace out. Double click to close it. Remember that one? This one you do click and hold down. When you're in this mode, you click once, let go, click once, let go, click once, let go. Double click to end it, and it'll close it up. All right, very good. I don't like that I have the colors wrong again. Come on, that color. There we go. All right, so now I want to take a look at what we have here. So I want to look at my list. My list is down at the bottom. Whoops. So I've got a bunch of footings. What I don't, here's my label. I'm going to drag my label over here. So I'm organized by label right now. 48s, 54s, 60. I'm double checking actually right here. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 60s to make sure my depth is right. 70, the 72s, yeah. So the 66 is where the footing depth changed. All right. So volume, we've got all this right here. We've got the cubic yardage is already figured out. So say there's a bunch that are not correct. You can select this right here. Select, hold down shift, get the group of them. Or you can do it via, say it's only the top and the bottom one. Hold down the top, click the bottom one, and then you can modify it over here with the settings or with this. Okay. Let's see. I'm happy with all that. Let's move on. So I'm going to do the footing continuous next. And there's a bunch of different ways you could do it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do all the 20s. And then I'm going to do all the 36s. So I'm going to try and show you a fast way to do this. See if this will make any sense to do it this way, okay? So I'm going to select my tool here, footings. So I'm going to do the FC20. Whoop. FC20, I like that it's only 1 foot deep. And it's still square footage in yards. Okay. Dang it. I needed to remember to click the tool at first. Okay, I'm in that. So here's my FC20. That one needs to be extended a little bit. I messed it up a little bit, that's all right. Really, I think that they've kind of got this incorrect. It should be like that. That's FC20. I'm not being too particular because I'm trying to show you how to do this a little faster, but I'm going to show you here in a second. All right, so let's say I spent the time to really dial these in, like I zoomed in and I was like, okay, like I should get that right on the line. Let's say I spent the time to do that, but there's always how accurate do you really want to be? That's a good question. All right, now I've got all these FC20s. I just need to go modify them. So I'm going to go, I don't want them to be the same color as my other footings. So I've got FC20. Hold down shift, select them all. I want to change the color. I was on this color, now I'm on that color. Oh, what? Control Z, undo that. I just want all the FC20s. Huh, why is this an FC20? Somehow that got turned into an FC20. That's an FC72. I don't know how I did that. Maybe if you're, I'll have to go back and watch the video and see what I did wrong. That's a FC66. I don't know where I messed that up somewhere. All right, so I'm gonna go do what I was about to do again. So I've got my FC20s. And you see how I like selected them all? I'm gonna change the color. Now, this should work if I hit copy, paste that in. It should work to drag everything in there. Let's see if it worked. It didn't work. It wasn't going to work. So I'm not going to do that one on that one. It might work on the next one. So we'll show you that one on the next one. Okay, I've got my FC20s. Let's do the next unit. So this one's an FC36. "12 inches deep." Okay, there's the FC36. I could continue to do this one, and but I don't know. Maybe it's faster. I was hoping to show you something that would help you speed things up, but yeah, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show how to speed things up. I'm not going to do it like this. I'm just giving you options on how to do stuff. All right. This one's the wrong color. I was down here, so I think I'm on that one. Okay. FC36. Let's do the 20s real quick again. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to set as my default. I'm using that one. FC20 1 foot. All right, let's do it. I don't know why I keep doing this wrong. Somebody will figure it out. I'm trying to teach a class and I'm doing something wrong. This one I'm going to chase around. Oh, missed it. Oh. Right there. I'm going to trace around this one. Ooh. Okay, I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, I've got one that's messed up. I didn't trace around it correctly. You can add in little nodes by clicking on your thing that you have here. Hold down shift, see how that switches to it. I'm clicking shift a bunch of times, see my mouse. I just added, whoop. I just added a node, that's what these are called. Now I need this node brought over to here. Now I need an extra node. Just click in there and get a node. And if you got too many nodes, you can get rid of them. Say I've got extra node in here or something like that. Come on, mouse. This is definitely messed up here. So I've got too many nodes. You can go over the top of it, hold down shift and get rid of it. There's too many nodes right there. I guess there was a bunch of nodes on top of each other right there. Let's fix it up. Oh, sorry. Okay. So now let's try the trick. Let's try it now. So I'm going to say, click that, hold down shift, get this footing, that footing. I'm just holding down shift and clicking. So I've selected them all. Now I should be able to right click while I'm on top of one of them, copy, and I should be able to come over here, paste them all, and then drag this thing into place. How did that do? Not bad. A little bit of adjustment to do here. That one looks okay. That looks all right. All right, let's try it again. They're still selected. Do you see how they're still selected? And so there's another option. You don't have to right click and copy. You can say control, hold down control, left click and drag. And that one's not, it's all right. Sometimes it's helpful to do it, sometimes it's not. Got this one in a little bit of a bad spot. I'll just leave it to here. Having a little bit of footing overlap is okay. I'm missing some of that footing right there. What is that? Nothing? Let me drag this up a little bit. I'm going to add a node in this one. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, well, I was just trying to show copy and paste is really what I was trying to do. But it looks like sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. So I got a lot of work to fix it right now. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. All right, well, I'm almost done with the footing here. You can take individual elements and see if they fit well. Or you could have just traced around the whole thing. You know, this one right here looks like that. So this one will probably work. And this one will probably work. And I don't know that this is really that helpful to copy and paste, but I already went down this path, so I'm gonna stay with it. All right, I need FC20. FC20, I'm on it. 12 inches. And it kind of does this jog, so I'm gonna all right, there we go. So now I've got a footing takeoff. I've got the spot footings and the continuous footings done. Now I'm on foundation walls, and we want cubic yards. And so we could do linear feet or square foot. I think I'm going to do linear feet, and I'm going to switch it, um, doing a custom calculation later on how to do that. And so we want foundation walls, and we're just going to assume they're all 36 inches tall because it does not really super clear how tall they are, but let's just assume that that'll be easy for the class. So we've got walls that we need to do. So I'm going to do this one in linear, and I'm going to use the poly length. And so this one, the subject, and we are what were the options there? A and C. I'm just going to use the thickness, 8-inch, 12-inch, 8-inch wall. Depth 36 inches, and that's good for now. And we'll be able to get some more dimensions in. Okay. So you could choose to do the inside or outside. I'm going to do the outside. When you're done, just double click on it. But I'm going to go all the way around the outside. All right, so this is going to be a little tricky. I just went through this right here, but I know that the floor slab goes through it, but I'm still going to choose to go through it for a takeoff. So I know that the floor slab pours over the top. but I'm doing the takeoff as if it was not. All right. For some reason, I'm on that color. We're sticking with it. I've got all that. So now the wall that I need, this is remember this footing right here. I got to go back to the structure, the structural there. This one's slab. This is a thickened footing with the slab. This is a wall that I need. And I think I need this wall. I think I need this wall right here, and I need that wall. And this one was a thickened footing with the slab, so we don't have a wall right here. It's internal. I wonder if this one was. See if he's got a cut section to it at all. I mean, they're showing as if they're all there, but that one on the structural detail, the 6 on 102, 1.2. Oh, sorry. 6. So yeah, that one's thickened. Okay, so that one right there is the only one that I'm seeing that's thickened. So there's a wall, concrete wall into that one. 5. So this one's a detail 8. Let's see what detail 8 is. Yeah, he's putting the wall underneath it. Okay, go back to it. Hopefully you followed that. This one's a thickened footing. This one's a wall. So I'm still on this one right here. Foundation wall 8-inch. Dang it. I'm going to switch that to my default. Set as default. And come on, close. There it is. Got too many. I didn't double click fast enough. Let's see if I can copy it. Yeah, all right. Take it. All I'm doing is holding down control and clicking and dragging it. All right, what else am I missing? I'm missing a little wall right here. Holding down control. This one's a little off. So is that. Okay, let's get the other wall now. And foundation wall, this is the 12-inch wall. I'm still going to say it's 36. I'll switch the color in a second. fix that in a minute too. The mouse is really having a hard time. Alright, I'm alright with all that. So I just need to change the color. Or I could do it down here. This would be easier. On this pink color, we'll switch into that color. Alright. So we've got spot footings, continuous footings, foundation walls, hold downs, still columns. Alright. Now, I'm going to switch my tool here. Rather than doing things like poly length and area, there's a tool that's just called count. And it looks like this. Further, and usually see it right there. Count. So these are going to be hold downs. I'll do HDU 8 first. And you literally just start finding them on your screen and click once. When you're done, you found them all, hit escape. Okay, start the tool again. So this one's hold downs, but it's going to be, what am I doing now? 11s. Maybe 14. Fourteen. Hit escape. Check it. So that's an 8. That's a 14. Okay, it's working. Need to do 11s. So there's the 11. Hit escape. Choose it again. Whoops. All right, there's a lot of these. HDU 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Yep, here. Just 8s and 5s. All right, so let's say you forget one. So you can right click on, say I need this one right here. You just go back to another one that you had and just say resume count. And you're back on, and it counted the HDU4 again. All right, looks like I need to do 5s. So basically that same process, you go through the 5s, go through the LST HDs, right? And then the next one is all the shit Simpson strong walls. So you need to do the same thing with the count function on the Simpson strong wall right there. So we're still just using that tool right there. And then the last thing is the HSSs. So then you go count the HSSs right there, right there. And so we'll do that right now. And then I'll show you a finished product. There's one there, there's one there. I'm surprised there's not another one on the end. This one's got 4. That one's only got, well, I missed one. There you go. All right. So I don't like how all the check marks are the same color. So I'm gonna fix those real quick. Let's start going through orange. Leave that one red. Whoop. All right, can't really tell, but at least my eyes can't tell there's a big difference. Okay, well, other than to get my HDUs, I'm done. So I'll keep working on finishing this up. And then really all I'm going to do is go cruise through this list and look and see if I can find anything that looks to be an error. I'm going to switch my steel columns to a different color. Oh. All right, then I just need to finish off the HDUs. I think I got it, and the Simpson shear wall. I'll keep doing it, but I don't think I'm going to show you anything new that you haven't already seen. So we'll go get the HDU 5s. Got all of them? HDU 8, yeah. It looks like my HDU 5s didn't stay in. Huh. Again, right click, resume count. Thought I clicked them all. My HDU 4 didn't come in either. Alright, I think I'm on the LSTHD8. SSW. All right, we've got one here, one there. All right, I just want to switch my colors around a little bit and I will be done with all that FCFS. HTU5, like that to be a different color so I can see it. The HTU8s are a different color. And the strong walls. We'll go with yellow. We'll switch into this triangle color, triangle shape. All right, I think I got it. There's my takeoff. Let's check and see if I've got everything I need. Spot footings, yes. Continuous footings. Foundation walls, yes. Hold downs, yes. Details need to be specific to each element, yep. So I've got every single element detailed. Make them visually unique. That's what I've been doing the whole time. Add a legend. I forgot to do that. Add a legend. So this is actually quite easy. Control A selects everything. Right click on it and say add a legend. Create new legend. Man, it didn't work. I don't know where it is. Control All. Legend. Create new legend. There it is. So I'm going to put it right there. Change the set. I'm going to fill color white so I can see it. Opacity is at 100%. I'm going to give it a little bit of a line. Change my font size so I can read it better. Yeah, so I'm going to add the label in there. So let's see, I want it to be label. Or I could do both. Subject. And label. And I'm going to put in my yeah, that'll work. I'm going to make this back to subject, see if that fits better. I don't know. I have to mess around with it a little bit, see if I like it a little bit better. I don't think the label's as good as I want it to be. No. Switch back to label. I'm just messing around with it really right now. See what I like more. So I've got my elements, my quantities, subject still down in there. All right, I'm all right with that. It would be I want to see if this is. I want the takeoff unit. Let's see. How does that look? So an 8-inch foundation wall. I've got 479 feet. Yep. Let's see, FC20. Let's see if I can find that. I've got 27 cubic yards, or so it's only bringing in the square foot on my. I was hoping to bring in my volume is what I want. There we go. Now I've got the volume in there. Okay, cool. So we'll have to do some calculations on these, but that's for another class. Save my work and be done.